Alright, so while that video uploads, the one that just posted before this video, I figured I'd try to make up for lack of content by just talking, ranting for a little bit, and just seeing where it goes, really. Okay, so I guess it's a video to get to know me a little better. So, for starters, my name is Hyatt. I love metal. I'm a huge metalhead. I particularly love black metal the most. It's my favorite genre of metal. If you want band recommendations, I don't really know where to direct you to, because a lot of what I listen to you can't find on the internet, or at least you can, but it's kind of hard to find. But I think my kids are itching. Well, I just I listen to everything from metal to jazz to blues to rockabilly, hard rock, rock and roll, fucking white girl music if you want to include that too. I listen to everything really, but my main thing's metal. I love metal. Hell, I just went and saw Cannibal Corpse 2 weeks ago at House of Blues. That was fun. Or yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Cannibal Corpse. And hell, I saw this band live too. Angel Maker. Saw them live as well. This is their hoodie from saw them live at Scout Bar. That was a kind of fun experience. Got to see them in a band that a buddy of mine is friends with. Got us in the venue in the first place. That was it wasn't really that crazy of a night, but it was a pretty fun night though. Pretty fun night. I got to watch live music, metal bands. So I love doing, by the way. I do enjoy watching live music. It is fun to me. That's why I love out concerts and stuff. I don't go to them very often, but I do go to them. So there was like this for the Scout Bar in English. If I can speak it, for the Scout Bar. That was my very first concert I ever went to. Was the Scout Bar. Not my very first metal concert, but my very first concert overall. I don't really go to concerts that much. I don't really leave the house all too often. But, growing up, my family wasn't very rich growing up, so we didn't really have time nor money to really go out and see live music all too much. And when we did, we were already at a restaurant where we were eating. So, small town stuff, I guess. Outside of that, so yeah, Scat Bar. There's supposed to be, I believe, 4 bands. There were supposed to be 4, I think. They were supposed to play that night, but one of them was having problems with being in the opener, and so they got kicked off the line. So then it was How All This Ends. Good band. I like that band. They're all deathcore bands. I don't really like deathcore. I mentioned that in the last video, but I still listen to deathcore, even if I don't really like it. But How All This Ends, that's a good band. Check them out. It's a good band. How All This Ends. Signs of the Swarm is pretty cool. I have their hat, or I have a hat by that. I have a fucking hat that says Signs of the Swarm on English. Yeah, no, I normally wear that hat in videos. You guys should already know that. I have a Signs of the Swarm hat. It's a nice hat. It's generally a nice hat for as fairly cheap as it was. It wasn't that cheap, but it was. Anyways, sorry about that technical issue. So yeah, Haywaker was pretty cool to see. Haywaker and Signs of the Swarm, they were pretty cool to see. Yeah, I normally wear a Signs of the Swarm hat when I'm recording. I don't this time because I'm just sick. I just grabbed whatever hat was closest to me. But in any case, there was that, and then obviously Angel Maker, which was the kind of like the cover of the whole thing. The whole reason it was happening was because of Angel Maker. But yeah, we didn't get to see Angel Maker very long. We had to leave, or well, most of us wanted to leave by the time Angel Maker came on. But we get to see a few of their songs. We didn't get to see the whole thing, but we got to see quite a few. Now, Cannibal Corpse, on the other hand, Cannibal Corpse, that was a pretty fun night. That was, in my opinion, that was more fun than the Scout Bar night with Angel Maker. Probably because I like the bands more, and I'm not as much into deathcore as I am to death metal and thrash metal. So I guess that plays a role in it. We saw I went with Jack to all these. Me and Jack, we hang out a lot. I do a lot of things outside of off the camera. We're like best fucking friends, of course we do. We started this because we're fucking friends. Anyways, but yeah, I forgot what bands they were. I don't remember the bands. I know we saw Cannibal Corpse. We saw Municipal Waste. They played right before Cannibal. And we saw two other bands I don't remember the names of, but they were pretty good. The first one, in my opinion, was the better of the two. Jack likes the second one that opened, but funnily enough, my favorite band to see that night was actually Municipal Waste, and I'd never heard of them before. I've never heard of Municipal Waste before seeing them live, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to see a band that I've never heard of before. In fact, actually, I've never heard of any of those bands before Cannibal Corpse came on anyway. So, whatever. I went to go see Cannibal Corpse live and ended up liking another band more than Cannibal Corpse. Crazy. But yeah, so that was all fun. I got myself a little Cannibal Corpse patch and everything. It was great. Jack bought some band shirts. I didn't buy very much merch because there was a long line. It's not like the Scout Bar where it's a small venue. I prefer small venues personally, not big venues, because small venues tend to have more smaller bands, and smaller bands are like witnessing a smaller band play for the first time. It's like it's a more unique experience in my opinion, and it's definitely something a lot more special than seeing a bigger band play live. Because you see a big band play live, they know what they're doing. They've done this 100 plus times. See a smaller band play, they probably haven't done it that much. They've probably done it like a couple times, and it's just a more unique experience, especially if you've never heard their music before. Because a lot of smaller bands, obviously you don't, unless you like are like a nerd like me, you'll go and find these bands beforehand and so on and so forth. A lot of these smaller bands you probably never heard of before, and it's like getting your first taste of this band live is a lot more unique than getting your first taste of them through, I don't know, an album that you bought off of them, or an album that you saw or heard or something. It's a lot more unique, definitely, when you see them live. In my opinion, that's the best way to discover a band, is when you go see them live. People have different niches and whatnot, so not for everybody, but for me, it's definitely live music is the best way to find a band. But in any case, so yeah, there was that. Then I also saw this past year. I also saw AC/DC playing some of their last live shows with Brian Johnson. That was a unique experience. That was pretty fun to go see. Loud as hell. I love it. I didn't last very long, I didn't last standing very long, because when you stand in one place forever and you have bad footwear, it doesn't help out. I should have worn those boots, but I did. Just a pair of steel-toe boots. Oh, I'm a psychopath. They're a pair of steel-toe combat boots. Shitty, cheap boots you can buy at Walmart. Those are my concert boots. I don't really care what happens to those boots. That's why I wore them. Concert boots, they can get whatever on them, and I don't care. Oh, I don't know, just paint them black. Just keep it with the color. In any case, yeah, so AC/DC, that was pretty fun to see them live. What band was before them? I forgot who they were on tour with. What was her band? I don't remember. Fuck. They're pretty big. They're a pretty big band too. A pretty big rock and roll band. But it was kind of depressing to watch. In all honesty, it was a little depressing to watch, her band play, because it's like she was trying to interact with the crowd so much, and everybody's there to see AC/DC. Nobody's there to see her. Unfortunately, they did a good job. They were for rock and roll, for hard rock and rock and roll. They were heavy as hell still. But yeah, it was just depressing. The crowd just was so silent watching her play live. It was depressing. I liked it. I liked her performance. It was great. It was pretty fucking heavy. I loved it. What did it compare to AC/DC? Obviously, AC/DC is just going to knock her shit out of the water. But for her being a fairly pretty big band, she did pretty fucking well. It's just the crowd was disappointing. A lot more energetic when AC/DC came on, which is, kind of like, it's like putting Ozzy Osbourne and fucking, I don't know, Death. Like, it's like having Death play before Ozzy. You know, it's like everybody's not many people are gonna know Death outside of metalheads. Only metalheads are gonna know who Death is. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. You know, everyone else is there to see Ozzy. He's not gonna know who the fuck Death is. Everyone's gonna know Ozzy because who doesn't know Ozzy? Ozzy's one of the biggest. Not one of. He is like pretty much the biggest. Not even rock band, but like metal band as well. But yeah, no. Ozzy's great. Ozzy got great music. It's unfortunate he's gone. You know, rest in peace, Ozzy. But I never got to see Ozzy live, which sucks. But Ozzy's music is great. It just sucks I never got to see him live. And Motorhead, that what really pisses me off a lot. I love Motorhead. I'm a huge Motorhead fan. I fucking love Motorhead. It's my favorite band. Never got to see him live. I was too young. I wasn't really into rock and roll by the time he was dead, and plus I was really fucking young. I think I was in elementary school when I'm pretty sure I was still in elementary when he died. It was 2015, like 10 years ago. Fucking 10 years, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I would have been like 10 years old or some shit. Yeah, I would have been. Yeah, I would have been 10 years old when Lemmy died. Played his last show. That's crazy. Again, it sucks I didn't get to see him live. Favorite band. Wasn't really into music back then either. So it's a damn shame. I was born a little too late, I'd say. Kinda wish I was born in like the 90s or something. That way I would have been able to go see all my favorite bands live before they all fucking die. Hey, Judas Priest is still around. They're a pretty cool band. Slayer, obviously, they just came back last year. They started playing live shows again. Fuck, I gotta go see them before they retire again. In any case. Yeah, I don't know. I had a chance to go see Megadeth live last year, but fuck. I got pent up by work, so I couldn't go. I couldn't go see Megadeth, which really sucks. That's like one of Dave's last tours too, before Megadeth retires. So that fucking sucks. I'll never get to see Megadeth live. I love Megadeth personally. A lot of people don't like Megadeth. I do. I love Megadeth. Do I think they're better than Metallica? Well, I'm a Megadeth fan, so you tell me. Do you think I like Megadeth or Metallica? Answer is yes, I do. Metallica, they're a little, they're too mainstream for me. But Megadeth isn't nearly. I mean, Megadeth's pretty mainstream, but they're not as, you know, they're not nearly as mainstream as Metallica. Everybody loves Metallica. Everybody listens to Metallica. Not as many people listen to Megadeth. But I don't know. They're, in my opinion, also Megadeth is a little more heavier and more, maybe not more fast paced. But it's definitely heavier in my opinion. Definitely more heavier and brutal than Metallica is. But in my opinion as well. I mean, look, I don't hate Metallica. I'm just not a Metallica fan. I'm not a fan of their music. So long as it's, you know, as long as it's their older stuff, I'm not as fan of it. Like, pretty much anything after their Black album, I think, is, or, what was it, Justice for All that came after Black? I don't remember. Their older music is definitely better, in my opinion. And it's definitely my favorite era of Metallica, especially the really early stuff. Because that's when they were still, you know, underground, quote unquote. But, I don't know, I'm a huge sucker for underground bands, so I may not know a whole lot, but I'm a huge sucker for them, because they're not as big, you don't see them everywhere. And it gives it's something cool to talk about with other metalheads. But then there's Metallica, it's like everybody sees Metallica live, alright? Everybody sees it live. It's like with AC/DC, everybody sees AC/DC live. And while they're good bands, AC/DC I love a lot, by the way. It's one of the bands I've been listening to pretty much my entire life. But, you know, in my opinion, as cool and awesome and badass as AC/DC is, as cool as Metallica might be, they pale in comparison to more smaller bands, in my opinion. Because again, like I said, it's a completely different experience, especially if you go see them live. Completely different experience seeing them live opposed to something like Pantera, which Yeah, I had a chance to go see Pantera as well, but work. Work is more important. Money is more important, you know? But I guess, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm still fucking sick. My back fucking hurts, and I think I'm gonna go lie down and rest for a little bit. This fucking sucks. I hate being sick. Anyways, you guys have a better day. Hopefully you're not sick. Have a great day, y'all.